All right, everyone, Jared James here, and welcome to, this isn't even, man, I've been doing a lot of these happy hour with Jared James, but we are not doing happy hour. Contrary to what some people may think, that is a lot of hot tea in that cup over there. But I am really, really excited today to have on Mr. Ryan Serhant. Am I saying Serhant correct? I want to make sure I'm saying
Yes, sir.
correct. Awesome.
Yes,
Super excited to have you on, man. I appreciate you being willing to come on here.
of course. And I just want to say thank you for letting me dress to impress. I've got a neon orange T-shirt. I've got like a zip-up hoodie that I think my parents have in this house from when I was like 12 or something. It's got like the Boston, South Boston, Massachusetts gym thing that I must have gotten when we first moved to Boston like forever ago. But yeah, man, thanks for having me.
Dude, this is like the most dressed up I've been in days. Like this is, I think it's the sign of the times. I would have, if I didn't have to meet people today, I would have been like this up top and had sweats on the bottom. But obviously that didn't happen. So either way,
I think it's interesting, like I wrote a newsletter about it a little bit ago. We do this like big money energy newsletter and podcasts and stuff. And just talking about how kind of like workplace norms are over, going forward. And I think you'll still have to dress per occasion, but I don't think people are going to walk into offices anymore, go on appointments and be like, hey, why are you in a sweatshirt?
But you're usually pretty snazzy. Like you're like, I've only seen what I've seen on TV, but you're usually pretty, godfathered out.
Yeah, I have to be, that's the job at the end of the day. Like my client base, I want to be as large as possible. Yeah. I want to respect and impress as many different people as possible. If I dressed, in gym clothes all day because that's what's most comfortable for me, I wouldn't do as much business. And you can complain about that as much as you want or say, oh, that's bullshit, be yourself. But like, I want to sell to as many people as possible. People judge you in the first 5 seconds of seeing you. And if wearing a suit and tie is all I have to do to sell the most real estate possible, I'll do that.
So that's an interesting point then. Do you like wearing, because I've always had the impression that you liked wearing the suit and tie, but I'm getting a different impression now.
I mean, I'm so used to it now. I like wearing a nice suit and a nice tie. I like, looking good and looking sharp and looking smart. And it almost to me feels like my costume, like I've been waking up every day in the dark and putting on a suit and tie for 12 years now.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm putting on my war outfit, it's like my army military outfit and I'm going out to battle. And there is something that I do like about that. My favorite outfit, if I could, is just like boots, jeans, t-shirt. Like if I could sell real estate in boots, jeans, and a t-shirt, I would do that.
How are you defining boots? What's that mean, boots? Like, are we talking like Timberlands? Are we talking like what are we talking about right now?
No, I'm talking about like super Manhattan type, like, like leather boots that fit perfectly. I don't even know what brand they are. I've got some nice boots or some Prada boots, but I have massive feet. And I don't like wearing sneakers that often. I feel like those are super, super, super kind of dressed down. But listen, I don't wear a suit for me. I wear a suit for my clients. Yeah. The same way, like I could wear jeans and a t-shirt and it would make me feel good and make me, feel happy and I'd be comfortable, but like, then I'm not showing respect to all my clients. So, you dress for other people.
There's a lot of truth in that, man. I found a medium where when I first started doing this for a living, especially if you're getting on stages or in front of people, like I was wearing suit and tie and whatever. Now I've gotten down to the blazer, make t-shirt professional. Yeah, exactly. But I'm so not a suit and tie guy. Like it's, I swear to God, anytime I have to wear one, like, funerals or weddings or something, I get like a red mark right here. It's just so not used to it. It's like a guitar player's fingers when they get used to the guitar. My neck is used to the old tie being around it. So anyway, so tell me what's been. So I think you told me you're in New Hampshire right now. You're there with your mother-in-law, your wife, and your daughter. Are you working? Like, what is because like obviously New York is it was considered non-essential. Now it's considered essential. New York right now is like what you hear about all over the news. I'm an hour from New York. Like it's Connecticut, New York. We're right there. Everything you hear on the news as far as the escalated numbers and everything comes from New York. Are you working? Are you not? What have you seen? Like,
yep, we are. I'm working. I'm not showing property, right? On March 18th, so just about a month ago, we left the city because we were hearing from people that they were going to shut down the city, which they did that following Sunday.
Yep.
But we were concerned because we've never been in this situation before. No one has. And all you do is you see the news. If you've seen it in movies, like it wasn't that far fetched to think that they might quarantine New York in the sense that you can't get in or get out. You know, if they start saying, listen, New York is the epicenter in the United States, we've got to save lives in 49 other states. So if you live in New York, you can't leave. Or if you do, you need to have the antibodies, and then you've got to have a bracelet. And it's like, how do you get one of those? So we were just like, you know what, screw it. It's too risky. Let's get out of here now. So we came up to New Hampshire. My parents have a lake house in New Hampshire that they use like in the summers. And so we've been crashing here for a month. And I've got so Wi-Fi. And I've got like this little living room here that's like partly my gym, you know?
Are you doing a lot of the working out at home thing? I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah, and it sucks. I hate it.
Do you
body
run?
weight exercises are the absolute worst. I hate running. I hate like sitting there. Once this is over, I will never do another fucking push-up for the rest of my life. It's so terrible. And so,
Are you like
I just
pulling
miss
stuff up on the
gym. I
TV
miss
like on
people.
demand?
I miss my routine.
Are you pulling up
stuff.
like those on-demand shows? Are you doing like the on-demand workouts, 30 minutes of, pain?
No, I give a lot of credit to my gym. I work out at a gym in Soho called Dog Pound. And so I work out with a group of guys every morning at 5:30, and we have a trainer. And so we've kept that going over FaceTime, you know? And so we just have FaceTime, and we set it up, and we do these awful hour-long body weight workouts Monday through Friday. And then I'll do some running, or I'll run around the lake on the weekends, and that's just terrible.
Yeah.
And then I got my little office set up like over here on this little kitchenette table thing I have. And I just, I'm booked all day. I'm at 8 to 8, Monday through Friday, Zoom calls, podcasts, meetings with clients, pre-development clients. And we're staying incredibly busy on a lot of kind of busy admin work, but it's good, like, when has the government ever mandated that you need to stay home and focus on your business plan for a month?
Yeah.
And you have to do it or we'll kill you like that.
Or will, one of our salespeople posted a thing, which I loved. It was a picture in our Facebook group. He posted a picture of when fishermen can't go out to sea because the waves are too high, they work on their net. And I'm a big believer right now that one of the things that came from all of this is that a lot of, especially people in the industry, were exposed for how client focused they were and how little they were working on their actual businesses.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, man, great time to work on the net right now. Great time to actually, look at your systems, look at your process, look at your, all of that stuff. It's a good time for that,
Yeah. And what I've told my whole team as well. And, we have an online course, too. I don't do coaching like you do, but, we have a lot of agents all over the world that we talk to every day. It's like, listen, this is your off season. That's it. Like, this isn't, there's no games on TV right now. This is your off season. And what do you do in off season? You take a little time for yourself, right? Pay attention to your family a little bit more. And you work on your jump shot, right? You work on your swing. You work on your throw, you work out, like you get your mind right, your body right, and you get ready for the season, which is going to start before we know it. Like before we're all going to be like, remember quarantine? Remember when I didn't have to go to office on a Thursday? Like, remember when we complained about quarantine all the time, and now it's all we miss? It's going to be like, remember we watched Netflix at 2 p.m. or went for a jog at noon on a Wednesday? Like, that's exactly what's going to happen, and that's how we all are. That's like the human race. You complain about what you don't have the minute you don't have it.
It's ultimately, when you look at it, it is a blip on the radar. Like, it's not, I mean, I know that it's terrible and it's there, but it's not permanent. Like, it's absolutely it's a blip on the radar. When you look at the scope of your life and you look at the scope of your year and you look at the scope of, it's terrible. It's, it's not fun. It's very real for a lot of people, but it is temporary. Like, I think that sometimes people are losing sight of that. I'm curious so you just said the things you're doing. So you not hearing as much from clients right now? Like, what about like international clients and otherwise? Like, has that all kind of like completely gone silent and everybody's just kind of waiting this out right now?
So the majority of my business is on the list side, right? So most of our business is on the sell side. So a lot of our work is just taking care of sellers, doing virtual tours, trying to, plan for the future as best we can. But incoming business lead new deals are like 90% less. You don't really know what the price of an asset is right now.
Yeah.
Right. Like you look at the market, it was down 600 points yesterday. It's up 500 points today. Why? And so
Dude, it's
what's
all
the price?
emotional though. It's all emotional. Like my wife was asking me about this the other day, and I'm like, this has nothing to do with like what these places are actually worth. It's all emotion. Like, look at Realogy stock right now. A couple days ago, it was down to 240 or something like that. I think today it was up to like 4 something again. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, because people are crazy, and most of them are really annoying, and they just act completely on fear, and then they follow the crowd. It's like in our business, right? The hot markets are always the stupidest markets. It's when people just buy things because they don't want other people to have them, and they're doing it because everybody else is doing it. Like, okay. And I think that's what you have now. So the massive sell-off, in the stock market was because everybody else is doing it. If everyone else is selling, they're smarter than me. I must sell.
It's the old Buffett, right? When others buy, you sell. When others sell, you buy. Like it's the like. I honestly think there's going to be a huge opportunity because when you look at how money works, money isn't just spent and it's gone. Money just moves. So like if an event hires you or I to come and talk at their event, right? If an event hires you or I to come talk at their event, they pay us money, but that money doesn't go away. It just moves. It goes to us. We pay our staff. We pay Delta. Money just moves. When you look at all this money that was taken out of the market, I really believe that you're going to have a lot of people that took a ton of this investment money out of the market and are going to look up when the sun comes out and everybody goes back and they're going to go, hey, you know what doesn't go down by 20% in a day? Real estate. And I think there's going to be an opportunity from the perspective of that money pouring into real estate because you're going to get people who are kind of tired of the idea that their retirement or otherwise was put in this thing that was completely emotional.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. The cycles are always the same.
Right.
It's identical to what happened last time and the time before that and the time before that. And what's a little bit different this time is like, you want to know how to show someone the value of an amazing new home. You lock them in their current shitty home, right? So like all these people are going to come out and they've been stuck with their wife and their kids in this house that they've always wanted to get out of and go somewhere else. Like now they're going to come out of this and be like, you know what? I need to move. I can't.
Are you saying this is the end of the tiny house movement?
Probably. Yeah.
Remember that? So. Isn't there a show on HGTV or something with these tiny houses?
Like HGTV will be like, let's make leaves into houses for ferrets. Let's make that a show. And all of a sudden that's a show.
It is going to be interesting, man, because on one hand, this whole thing like reminds you what's important and like all of this kind of stuff. But then it's also completely contradictory against like the minimalist attitude, because now when you're all locked up, you're kind of like, I'd kind of like some technology. I'd kind of like some more space. I'd kind of like so it's like such a walking contradiction because on one hand, you're like, focus on what matters, ultimately, people in the relationships. But then on the other side of this whole argument is, a little more space would be nice. In
Manhattan, like a lot of our meetings and conversations now are about what's AQL. So like after quarantine life, right? That's what we've been calling it, AQL. So it's after quarantine listings, after quarantine life. What are people going to want in buildings? Are people going to be excited to go buy in a condo with 300 people where you share a floor with 20 of them who all use the same garbage chute and touch the same elevator buttons? Is it going to take 18 months for people to be okay with?
That's going to be a side effect of this? Do you think people are going to be like, we're going to turn into walking bubble boys?
I think for the short term, 100%. For the first 6 months, once this is over, people are going to have a real kind of second thought about living in the same vertical village as hundreds of other people, where if they sneeze in the lobby, you're going to walk through it on your way to work. I think what it's going to do that's a good thing for us is it's going to kind of buoy up the single home market. So all of our townhouse sales throughout the city will be much better. And, I'm building a townhouse for myself and our family right now. And I'm like, yeah, man, I can't, like, if I got to get quarantined, I'd much rather be quarantined in an apartment.
You were doing that prior? Like you were doing that before all of this?
Yeah, before. Yeah, we started renovating last year.
Nice.
And now we're stopped because construction is stopped, which sucks. But I think people are going to go into single families. I think they're going to move out of the city. If you were sitting on the fence before this, like you're moving out now. You're going to Jersey, you're going to Connecticut, you're going to, Texas, Florida, anywhere else where you're like, man,
Is that good for you or bad for you? Like, is that like,
it provides
obviously you get to sell it, but they're not staying where you are.
Yeah, correct. It provides it just like when when the tax cuts came through, right? And the tax law changed, when they did away with the SALT deductions, all of a sudden we had a lot of high priced homes hit the market because you had a lot of rich people who were like, this just sucks. I don't want to be paying tax twice now. So they left, but then it put a lot of things on the market. Now I got to go find somebody else who's as wealthy to buy it, who doesn't care about the tax. So it's, I think you'll see a small exodus from the city, the same way we saw after 9/11, the same way we saw after Hurricane Sandy, the same way we saw after SALT, and you'll see the same thing now. It provides more opportunity, but New York doesn't change, right?
I was gonna say, but ultimately, I mean, a certain amount of time, people come back, and it's, you get back to normal, so to say, right? I mean,
yeah, dude, mark my words, man. 24 months from now, the stock market will be well over 30,000.
Yeah, come on.
Right?
Yeah.
People are going to be, they're going to be on jets and planes again. No one's going to care.
Dude, I don't invest generally my money in the stock market, but I'm going to be very honest. The last couple of weeks, I threw a ton of money in because I was just like, this is not like, this is going to go up. Like, this is, it's just an opportunity,
I read an article about this guy who's a goat farmer. Yeah, I read an article about a guy who's a goat farmer who has an investment company where all they do is they invest in the hope that one day the world will come to the end. And every day they lose a little bit of money. And they've got these investors that just believe that one day there will be a correction, and every 5 to 10 years it's a massive correction. And on that, like 1 week, they get paid off, and that fund like loses money every year, and it's always laughing stock. And in 1 week in March, they returned 4,200%. And he's like, this is the best investment you guys have made in the last 5 years. Thanks for sticking with me. Now we're going to go back to it.
They shorted the market. They were basically,
wow. All day, every day, until one day you just got to wait.
They're like, see? That's awesome. So tell me, like, what's the structure of your team? Like, do you run it like a brokerage in a brokerage? Do you run it like a team where people are actually just focused on buyers and other people are focused on sellers? What is the structure of your team?
I kind of run it like a brokerage. We're a company within a company.
Yeah.
A lot of the lead flow comes through me, and then my job is to keep everybody, fed, and they all work on my listings, work on my buildings. But every agent also is able to go and get their own business and get their own listings, and I help them in every way possible. The team is kind of segmented into locations. So I've got people in Long Island City, people in Brooklyn, people in Lower Manhattan, people in Upper Manhattan, just so that they can sell what they know. And I view myself, I kind of look at it like a football team. When we do one deal, it's not like everybody on the team gets paid for it. But, for me, I'm the quarterback, and I've got my wide receivers. I've got my running backs. I've got my offensive tackles. I've got defense when I need it. I've got players all over, and they do what they need to do. And everybody has the ability to make a lot of money and be as successful as possible.
Awesome. So I had a question about that. So I've been watching what you're doing. I'm a big believer that you're always working on two businesses, or you should be working on two businesses: the business you're in and the business you're going to be in. So a certain percentage of your time goes into the business you're in, and a certain percentage of time goes into the business that you're going to be in. Basically, always trying to put yourself out of business, or what's next? How do I stay ahead? That kind of stuff.
Sure.
It's a two-part question. I'll ask the first part first. I've noticed what you're doing with the vlog, right? Where you're doing a lot of stuff with your vlog, and you're doing a lot of stuff on YouTube, and you're doing a lot of stuff, on those places. Is that you looking at television and future-proofing yourself, or is it just like for you, just another platform or is there any intention in that?
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, so 2.5 years ago, I set up a separate company called SMG, which stands for Serhant Media Group. And I got a bunch of full-time employees, admins, videographers, photographers. And I said, listen,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So I said, listen, I think that, because I always try to look like 10 years into the future. Because when I got into this business in 2008, it took me 2 years until 2010 to figure it out. I was like, this is where I want to be by 2020.
Yeah. And
I got there by like 2016. And so then I've had the last 4 years to really figure out how I want to get to 2030 even better. And, $1 million listing when it first started on Bravo was watched by like 25 million people, right? It was It was massive, like the phone calls, emails, everything.
I don't
And then
think you
every
could ever get those numbers now on TV. Like, that's
No, you
insane.
can't. It doesn't exist anymore. So, 5 years of the show go through. It's awesome, awesome, awesome. And then people stop watching TV less and less and less. And there's all these other streaming platforms and people only have so much time. And so it's like, you know what? One day, not today, not tomorrow. We're still filming the show now. Like one day, TV won't be what we know it to be. And I don't want to be the guy that's like stuck around, in the newspaper business, saying the internet was just a fad. So, and I saw a lot of younger people. So all of my clients' kids didn't watch TV. They were all on YouTube all day long.
That's
They
my
said,
kids,
we need
man.
to, let's do what we do on television, but let's do it on YouTube and do it our own way. So let's start this vlog. Let's do properties. Let's do inspirational stuff. Let's do day in the life. And let's get a following now of future buyers. So I'm going to spend the next 10 years building a following that will turn into clients in 2030, both buyers, sellers, developers, but also potential future agents that can work with me. And so there was a very concerted effort to all that, and on everything that we do across all social platforms, the way that we showcase all of our properties on video, the things we got that we're planning to roll out this year. We're always trying to anticipate what's going to happen next. Because I just don't want to be left in the dust. I don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, damn it, I didn't see it coming.
Dude, we're on the exact same page, man. And you talk about the kids. I mean, my kids don't watch any regular TV, even if they want to watch something on the Disney Channel, they do it through on demand. Like it's not the same.
Why would you wait? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's a different world. But I had the second part of that question was this. So I was kind of checking in when I knew we were going to do this, and I was looking at everything you're doing online and on, you're doing a nice job with, I'm a guy that pushes social and all those kind of things. You're doing a nice job with, giving people actual things to view and content to take in on Instagram and all of these different places, right? So my question is this: do you see yourself in real estate long-term, or are you building a following because a following allows you to do whatever the hell you want down the road?
I don't know. I mean, I'll be in real estate for as long as real estate will allow me to do it. I think that the brokerage business is an amazing business. It's an entrepreneurial business. It allows me to do whatever I want all day long anyway. Maybe I won't always be showing properties at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday because I have to, right? Maybe I'll be doing different types of sales and different type of brokeraging. But the following enables me to do other stuff in addition to the brokerage, right? It enables me to do
right. Yeah.
the television and the books and the vlogs and the courses and, the licensing and the endorsements and the podcasts and all that stuff. I mean, real estate's my tree, it's my lemon tree. And I find different ways to branch off the main tree and different lemons and everywhere I can go. But real estate is the backbone, it's the trunk.
So you do recognize, though, you have these various things that you're into, and you're not going to bite the hand, so to say, in the sense that, like, what allows you to do these other things is your successful real estate business that not only opens up doors, it funds it. It does, like, you look at it like that as kind of like the source of it.
Yeah, 1,000. Yeah, of course, man, 1,000%. Like, I will never bite the hand that feeds me. Real estate is an amazing, amazing career and an amazing business for income. And every single day can be a brand new day. I don't wake up and go to a cubicle every day. I wake up and my phone could ring today because someone got a mailer or saw a sign, and boom, that changes your month. Like that is, we're all crazy in this business. We're all gamblers, but we're addicted to it.
I say it all the time. There's something a little off if you're in real estate. Like there's, it's not normal people. Like that's, like it's on that same note. Are you, so like, I think you and I were talking beforehand, and we did the same event last year, the year before, or something like that. And we're at the airport at the same time. Like we do events, we travel, we do, whatever. There's the upside of this whole quarantine thing, which is for me, for example, and I think for you as well, I'm not traveling at all right now. I'm home like crazy. It's awesome. I'm getting to spend more time with my family than ever before, do more things, the whole thing. Then there's this other side too, understanding who I am and how I'm made up, that is like yearning to like go do something and go. Do you relate to that at all? Or are you just kind of like, no, I'm just loving chilling. Like I'm good. Lock all the doors.
No, man, I'm losing my fucking mind.
Okay. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Yeah.
No, listen, no, dude, I'm not inside hanging out with the baby, eating cookies right now. Like I'm in my little home office here. I've been here since 8 a.m. I'm going to be here till 8 p.m. and I'm building as much as I can. I'm business planning. I'm worksheeting. I've got all of my docs laid out in front of me as I figure out. I'm like I said, I'm using this as my off season. Like it is what it is. We're all in it together. So I might as well use it. Let's brainstorm. I want to come out of this way ahead of everybody else who took this time to relax.
Dude, yeah.
And listen, the bonus time that I have is there's no commuting time. Doesn't take me that long to get from my kitchen to my home office. So I'm not stuck in traffic. I don't have any dinner events that in New York for me, that's a huge, like every week, every night I have 1 or 2 different events that just takes up so much time. And so if you add all that up, I'm putting that back into like the baby and wife and home dinners and stuff. So that's cool. But the work, I feel like I work more now than I ever did before because I'm not doing none of the showings or the driving around or kind of like all the stuff that you have to do just to make business happen.
Yeah. I used the example earlier on a call I was on with with one of the brands. And I said, look guys, look at what's going on with the NBA. They suspended their season, but they're going to start back up in the summer and then go into the playoffs. And I said, watch what's going to happen. Lower seeds are going to beat higher seeds because the star players on the higher seeds simply sat around and gamed all day. Like they got out of shape, sat on their couch, played games all day long, and they're going to go back into the season and not be in shape, right?
Yeah, but the younger guys are going to be the ones who are practicing every day.
And yet, like from an agent perspective or a real estate perspective, it's very similar. You talk about working that plan. I called it working the nets as a fisherman or whatever. Like you can either prepare for this surge that is coming right now, or the sun's going to come out. They're going to open up businesses, and you're going to get up like a bear out of hibernation. And sit around for a couple months while everybody else is selling more properties in the next 2 months than they did in the last 6 because they prepared for that surge ultimately, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious for you. I saw something, and I could be wrong here, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought I saw that when you first started in real estate, I know you did rentals and you did those, but I thought that the main way that you were really kind of growing your business was through like prospecting, whether it was through postcards, whether it's through just making calls to people. Is that how you kind of started?
I never cold called because but I did postcards. I would do cold meets. So I'd meet people like in Starbucks outside Saks Fifth Avenue, and I would talk to them, and I would, if there was a pregnant woman, I'd congratulate her and then tell her if she needs more space. I'm a real estate agent. Let's go find that 2-bedroom. I would do stuff like that. And that's kind of how I got my business. And through the gym, like the one place I knew where I could have something in common with someone else, because I'm not from New York City and I'm not overly religious and wasn't part of any other networking groups, was, I go to the gym and try to like go spot a bunch of people and, take little workout classes and meet people in there. And then eventually those people slowly become friends, and friends slowly become clients.
Now, how has that, I hate it when people ask you and other people, how's TV changed, whatever. But now more as like an established person in real estate in your area, how has it changed as far as how you're going after business now? Are you basically now just, dealing with networking and referrals and doing that stuff? Are you still doing active marketing, going out to people, still doing the postcards, still doing the, like, how has it changed for you from a marketing perspective?
When I started, it was just me. So everything had to be just me. Now I have 60 people underneath me who do all of that stuff. So my job is to quarterback deals all day. I very much see myself as the CEO of the team. So my job is to manage and drive the ship, and bring in business and go and pitch. So when I'm in the city, I'm in the back of a car and I'm going from pitch to pitch to meeting to meeting to pitch to pitch to meeting to meeting. My team's job is to go out and prospect, to close, to do the showings and do all the other work. I'm a big believer in there's only so much time you have in the day. Like after sleeping and eating, you have roughly 1,000 minutes a day, right? Like you're the CEO of your own bank of time that way. Yeah. So how are you going to divide out those 1,000 minutes so that you're not spending it stupidly? And you should only be doing things every day that only you can do. So, anything else, paperwork, that showing, this thing, that thing, you should have somebody else. And even if you're a brand new agent, you need to learn all that stuff because you're the only one who can be doing it. But slowly but surely, you get a junior agent underneath you. Then you get an intern. Then you get an assistant who can help you with emails. And then slowly but surely, like if you build it, they will come. It's real.
You're making sure that I like to say that the old adage, whenever people talk about time management and all this kind of stuff, they always say things like, we all get the same 24 hours in a day. And it's basically a way to make you feel like crap that, Steve Jobs has the same number of hours and look what you're doing, right? And I'm not a believer we all get the same 24 hours. We get the number of hours according to the infrastructure we create, which means that, if you have 60 people under you, that's 1,440 hours. So if you compare you to somebody over here who's all by themselves, solo, has no help, is doing everything in their business, is doing whatever, they've got 24 hours to compare against your 1,440. The point is, when you're talking about you either run a business or you run around, infrastructure is what creates more than 24 hours in a day, right? As an organization, you're going to be able to do more when you've got infrastructure, when you're able to leverage other people's hours, quite frankly, doing what they do best. Some people are awesome at paperwork. Some people are awesome at marketing. Some people are awesome at, you know what I mean? So that's kind of, that makes sense to me. So you're not doing, the marketing or the prospecting or the whatever. You have a team that's doing that. And then your job is to show up, be the face, and really kind of close, right? It's to shake hands, kiss babies, be a face, and really be the rainmaker a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like a big part of my job is starting deals and then closing them. So bringing them in, I've got a team to manage all the plays in between, and then I'll go in and I'll close it if I need to. But my, brokerage is a volume business. I don't ever just want to do one deal. I want to do 100 deals, but I need to know how to manage all those balls in the air. And actually the book, the Serhant book that I wrote was initially called Balls Up. That's how I sold it to the publisher.
I'm sorry.
And then
what was it called?
Balls Up.
And they didn't think that was a good idea, huh?
No, they thought it was a great idea when they bought it. And then they all sat me down in this room with all these people to have this really serious conversation with me about changing the title. And they're like, we don't think this is a good idea now.
Yeah, that's a different book. That's a different book.
Yeah, but the idea is that it's my sales game theory, right? If you can create a system to manage as many balls in the air as possible, you will be a more successful salesperson, and that's how you build a successful sales career. I was never interested in trying to help people figure out how to sell one thing, because every individual sale is so different. Every conversation is so different. But to build a sales career is what really, really excites me, and that's why I love this business. That's why I work so hard during quarantine, because it's like exciting. I get to build and do new stuff all day, every day, talk to new people, get turned down, rejected. It's going to suck, but it's going to be awesome when I get that win. And then I just go for it over and over and over.
Don't you think Balls Up? It's an interesting title. So don't you think right now, though, so you're talking about working, because you said what you said, but you're working so hard during this time frame. And dude, I'm the exact same thing. I'm working harder than ever. Like everybody wants a trainer right now, right? Like it's like a, whatever. Don't you think that this is the moment where I always say, like, winners win, leaders lead. Like, once everything's taken away, once it's not easy, once we're not in a situation where everybody can be an entrepreneur, once whatever, like as difficult as it is, I think that people like you and I actually have an advantage, because we're all playing on the same chessboard. And right now we're figuring out who's pawns and who's kings. And it can't be hidden. I almost feel like, as bad as this is right now, it actually gives people like you and I and others who are true entrepreneurs an actual advantage, to where because someone's going to win, right? It's not like people who are listening right now, on their side of the tracks, the economy's been paused and everything's whatever, but 2 miles over, everything's perfect and nothing. Everybody's playing according to the same rules right now, which means somebody has to win. Don't you think that times like this actually give the true entrepreneurs an advantage, that like they're playing in the same rules, but somebody's got to win? What do you think?
Yeah, man. Scary times like these are the mother of invention. Like it's you are forced to be creative. You're forced to be innovative. You're forced to think outside the box. You're forced to focus on yourself, brainstorm, game plan. And I think the people that have that in their blood, who like doing that stuff, are the ones who always come out of this with new ideas, new things. I mean, just look at you're talking about sports, like basketball came out of a recession, like literally look at the history of basketball, came out of a recession. It was how do we take, playing soccer outside, and you do it inside and put up this net, and that's what happens. Right. Superman, the character of Superman came out of the Great Depression. It was America needed a hero. right? America needed a hero, and here's Superman, right? Look at this guy who can save us from everything we're going through. And that was in the 1930s, right? The stock market crashed in 29. And it was a complete disaster. So, you know, I'm more excited to see like what the 20s are going to bring, right? We're gonna have the roaring 20s. And then everything's going to fall apart again in the early 30s, and we're just going to have to go through it, but it's going to be fine. It's always the worst it's ever been, and then it's always fine.
Isn't it always? Isn't this always the worst, and nobody's ever, and it's always, right?
Always.
I think old people are like sitting back sometimes laughing at us.
Yeah, man. Like if my grandparents were still around, they'd be like, you have to stay at home and watch TV and work on your business. I had to go to World War II.
Harold went to war. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's not the same, you know, like
your father
I don't
had
complain
to
about
leave
this at
us
all.
children and go to war at a mortality rate, by the way, in a war back then. I remember when there was the Iraq war and they were posting numbers of deaths and it was like 3,000 something. And everybody was like, oh my God, because obviously seeing 3,000 plus people die is a terrible thing and it's whatever. But it's like World War II and other vets must have been looking at this going like, are you like hundreds of thousands and whatever? Like it's just a different world now. Like what we
and the draft.
Ugh.
Being drafted.
God. We're literally upset about the idea that like, you know, they're deciding how much toilet paper you can buy. And yet there was a day when you would get a message and they'd say, hey, you're grabbing a gun and going and you know, risking your life and leaving when you really start to put it in perspective like that, it's like, and then you look at our world today. I put this up on Facebook the other day. It's like the freaking stock market's running a half off sale and everybody's buying toilet paper. Yeah. Like, I just sometimes wonder, like, our perspective is just...
No, it's messed. It's completely messed.
And again, nobody's minimizing what's going on right now. It's terrible. It's, you know, people are dying. It's just perspective, though, right? Like, I really believe entrepreneurs and people, we just think different. You know, it's like a stand-up comedian, right? They joke with each other different. They joke about things you probably wouldn't joke around in public, but they think different and whatever. I think there's a touch of that in entrepreneurs, too, where you just think different. Like it's just
for
perspective, you know, it's a crazy thing.
It's a get up and go attitude, right? I mean, like, look at this country. You had a lot of people who are okay with sticking around and dealing with things as they were. And then you had a handful of people who said, we don't like that. And they got up and went, and they got on boats and they went and figured it out. Like that's today's entrepreneurs, right? The ones who are getting up and going and figuring it out.
Is this going to change anything about like how you do business? Like, I mean, obviously I think that people are more comfortable now with technology and they're more comfortable with video because they've been forced to do this. You and I were joking beforehand that, you know, this will become like, you know, you Google something. It's like, oh, let's Zoom it. Let's, you know, whatever. Yeah. Do you think this will change anything about how you or your team or just the industry overall does things? Do you think people will be more comfortable and will do more virtual tours because they're like, there's no reason to meet there? Like, do you think it'll change anything?
I don't really think so. Like, I think the office leasing business, which I'm not in, will be changed. I think the commercial brokerage business will be changed, but for residential brokerage, you know, it's not like we're selling 10 apartments a day right now virtually. Yeah. Like people, even with the virtual tours we are doing, people are like, okay, well, when I can get in and see it, let me know. So it's still
it's a good point. Everybody's talking about virtual, but the truth of the matter is it's not ideal. It's not what most people actually want, right? I mean, it's not the same thing.
I mean, I wouldn't spend millions of dollars after only seeing something through my phone. You know, you can. Dude,
I've been saying this forever, man. Like all the money that's poured into our industry, all the money that's come in now from Silicon Valley and everything else, and yet the number of people who have used an agent the last 5 years has gone up every year, and it's for a very simple reason. Like you can't add a house to a shopping cart. You can't buy a pair of jeans, pick out some boots, and then say, I'll take that 4-bedroom colonial, you know, connect PayPal. It's a very unique industry.
Yeah. Yeah. That people actually need to sleep in and live in. I mean, that's never going to change. I think, you know, there will be real estate agents in movies in the year 3000, you know, like you in some way, shape or form, because you're going to always want that authentic human connection when making a large financial decision. Like it is what it is. You know, the internet didn't put stockbrokers out of business, right? You know, it made more of them because now there's more information that you have to understand and it's too complicated. So you need even more people to help you understand what's going on so you can make the best decision with your money and for your family. And that we do the same thing as real estate agents, and we do it physically. And I don't really see that changing, you know?
It's an emotional thing, right? I mean, when you start talking about real estate, like and like you said, it's not the price of a $5 whatever. It's
Yeah.
when you got to see, feel, touch. Where do you think right now? Last couple of questions here. Where do you think right now people's focus should be? You talked about your work and your business plan. You're doing those things. Are you pivoting on that? Are you like where do you think people should be focusing right now, agents and brokers, until, as I said, the sun comes out and they say back to work? Where do you think the focus should be?
I think people should be focused on keeping their habits and keeping their routines going so that when this is over, you're not that athlete that's been sitting on the couch, overweight, out of shape, and then, oh shit, I got to get back into it. Because then you're just going to lose even more time. Yeah. Like you had a month, right? Or you had 2 months or whatever this is going to end up being. Like, soak it up. But focus on your morning routine and focus on figuring out how to build your network right now.
Yeah.
What's going to happen when this is all up, right? Everyone's going to want to meet. There won't be parties right away, but you're going to be able to get a cup of coffee with somebody way easier than you ever were before, because people are going to miss that simple human interaction. So, start a Facebook group in your town for dog lovers. If you don't have one already, be a creator and a leader in your community that way. Get 12 people to join. Tell them all they got to invite 2 other people. Now you got 24 people in there that you never knew before. Yeah. They all have dogs. When this is over, boom, it's 24 new friends and clients that you'd never had time to set up before. Like little things like that, people need to be thinking about in terms of their business after quarantine. And that's what I'm working on with my team every day.
Has this messed up? Were you guys filming or anything? Did this mess that up at all? Or
Yeah, totally messed it up. I mean, we're filming a lot on our own now, on our phones. So if you watch the show when it comes out this fall, season 9 there'll be an episode that's, the quarantine episode of, all of our deals being lit on fire by this virus and us being stuck at home and growing out beards and stuff. But yeah, we're on hiatus.
Can you make sure you include in there your interview with the guy where we tried to go Facebook Live about 50 times?
Yeah, it didn't work, and that's why technology doesn't work. Yeah, exactly. I'll include that.
So it did though. So you guys, oh my God, you guys are shooting from your phones and everything.
Yeah.
You're gonna throw that up there. And what do? Do you send it in and they have to approve it? Like they look at it and they're like,
I mean, they nothing gets approved or disapproved in front of us. If it's terrible, they just throw it out. But
just shoot a bunch and send it over.
We put it on like a Bravo shared drive, and they would take it and try to figure it out. But it's tricky. Like, this isn't, this is a long-term kind of shutdown. So there's only so many things I can film myself doing. It's like beard grew a little bit more today. I'm at my desk a little bit more today. Here's the baby.
Have you dressed up a ball yet? Named it Wilson? Like, are we at that level yet? Or are we just...
Yeah, it's my daughter. I dress her up every day and call her different things. I'm like, today I want a son. You are Zorro, my son.
Today I want a son. That's nice.
Yeah.
That would be television. Yeah, I get it. So I would think, they don't approve or disapprove. They're just like, hey, Ryan, maybe you should upload some more content. We need some more video, Yeah, crazy, man. So we're gonna take this, man, and we were hoping to do it on Facebook Live, but obviously that didn't work. So I'm gonna throw it up on Facebook. That sounded terrible. I'm gonna throw it up on there, but I'm going to put it on Facebook later, put it on our podcast, put it on YouTube, those kind of things. Obviously, a lot of the people who follow me are already a fan of you because I'm in the real estate industry and you're in that industry as well. How can they connect with you? How do you want them to connect?
Just everywhere. Course is ryanserhant.com/Instagram at Ryan Serhant, the book. So like Serhant everywhere, just my name.
So you actually got the at Ryan Serhant for everything?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate your guts. I'm Jared James today on everything because Jared James was taken on everything. It was like something out of.
Well, it's more that's it. The only people who have the last name Serhant are in my immediate family. So if any of them had Ryan Serhant, I'd kill them at Thanksgiving.
I went and bought all the domains and everything for my children years ago.
Yeah.
Went and got it taken care of. But
awesome. You have to.
Awesome, man. Hey, really appreciate this, man. Honestly, I feel like I could talk to you for ever. Like a lot of stuff as you're going into stuff. I could sit here and go back and forth on a ton of things. So I appreciate you doing this, man. Sorry about the tech difficulties in the beginning.
No problem. Glad we were able to make it work.
Yeah, but I think everybody's going to really enjoy this one, man. So thank you so much. I'm sure we'll run into each other at an event or something coming up, but good luck with the new season. Everybody, like I said, at Ryan Serhant, you can check that out. RyanSerhant. Did I do that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, guys, make sure you go check him out and shoot him a message, shoot him a line, and just say thank you for doing this. Just show him a little bit of love for doing this, guys, because I know you're going to enjoy the interview, okay? Thank you, everybody. We'll see you soon.
All right. See you, man.